Hi there, it's Jean from Inky Owl Studio. I'm so happy you could stop by for a few minutes today. I know in my last video I talked about working on an Emma Jane Austen journal, and I am still gathering her things together, and she's sitting over there, looking at me. Hi, Emma. And I had a few days of not feeling well, so I'm a little behind on getting stuff out. Therefore, I'm having another Roxy challenge video, and I really enjoyed this one because she's working with some fabric. So she basically, and I'll put her link down below as well, she basically is working with tags and fabric, and then papers and that type of stuff. These tags, well, actually these are a digital printout, and they're from Artsology, and I'll put her link down as well as to where these tags came from. But they're printouts, and I printed them on cardstock, and because cardstock I don't think really feels like heavy like a tag should feel, I glued it to another layer of cardstock and put on a little reinforcer there. So they look like the real deal. I'm enjoying them. They are alteration tags. I thought was really appropriate working with fabric. But any kind of a tag would work. You don't have to have this particular one for sure. And so the thing that she was doing, like I said, was she was working with fabric. So I took this, I was inspired, by what she did, and I am taking, now I have these in my shop, and they're floral printouts on muslin. And I just simply cut one out, and I didn't even bother with getting the border perfect, because they do have a little border around them, but I just sort of cut it irregular, frayed it, and that's the kind of look that I like. And you can, of course, cut very carefully all the way around and have a border, but kind of like this frayed look. So I'm going to use this as my star or my focal point for my tag. And I don't have any made ahead. I just thought I would come on here and just sort of craft on the fly and just kind of share with you how I kind of do it. So I have a couple of ideas for a backing. So one of the backing is this fabric here is it's actually an upholstery fabric. It's a very thin one, and it's the kind that just frays like mad, which is like so cool. So whenever I go to buy more of this, I just go to the upholstery department and kind of look for where they cut it off, and I see a lot of threads hanging out, like at the end of the bolt will be all these threads. It's like, that's the one I want, because it frays up really cool. So I can use one of these for a background, or then I got this pink here, and I think the more I look at this, I think perhaps this is the one that I want. And yeah, I'm pretty sure. And I think 2 layers of fabric is really, really neat. So let me just snip around this so that I can tear it out. Let's see, how can I use the least amount of fabric? Always trying to preserve how much I'm using. And of course, I want the stripes to go across or up and down. Let's go up and down. Let's just try it this way. And so I'm going to just, this light's in front of me here, I'm going to snip it there and give it a tear. And snip up here. And we'll start with this amount here and see how we like it. Oh, a little too big, but that's okay, because actually I can, oh, you know what? I don't have to have a complete border. I could just layer it that way where it's not completely behind. I think I kind of like it this way, and then tear it up. Yeah, I like it like that. So that's the way I think I'm going to do it. Yep. There we go. I like ripping fabric. I don't know. There's something just, I love that sound. Maybe you don't. Maybe it's more like fingernails on a chalkboard for you, but I do kind of like that sound. So let me just figure out how I want to do that. Actually, I think I need to take off a little bit more on this side right here. There we go. I'm going to do this, and yep, I like this idea. So this is a pretty neat idea. And I'm eventually going to sew around this. And this is really getting me in the mood to make a sewing journal. So this will be some good ephemera to go in there. And I'm just going to get some of this glitter glue, and I'm just going to lightly tack it onto there. I'm using that because it will dry quickly, and I try not to use wet glue when I try not to sew over wet glue. So I'm kind of not doing the outside edges, just the inside, just enough to give it a little bit of hold, a bit of grip, so that when I go to sew it, it'll be held down and everything. Now actually, I think I want this to be higher, so I'm going to replace it and put it up just a little bit more. There we are. There. So I'm liking that portion of it, and now something down in this area. I know she had stuff down here, so I think we've got enough pink on here. So let me try a little bit of green. Of course, that might be a little too bright. A little too bright. Let's see what else I have here. I also have some of this little black polka dots. But that, I'm not sure polka dots really kind of go with this romantic rose looking deal. And here's some fabric here. This might be a little better. Okay, why don't I look at the laces? Some lace here. And that's kind of cool. Kind of like the lace a little bit. And let's try another lace. This is more of a trim, this eyelet trim. Yeah, this is all vintage. That I bought an antique store. I don't think you really can find this anymore. It looks like it had been cut out of a piece of clothing. That's kind of cool. So eyelet. That takes up a lot of room now. And one more. Let me try this one. This is not vintage. And that's kind of cool too. Of course, we're going into the pink again. And I said I wasn't going to do pink. I don't know. Maybe this can go somewhere else. Maybe we can just... I like this lace. And I do believe I got this at Walmart. Pretty sure I did. And I like it because you can cut it off and make little, you know, snippets with it. Yeah, that might be... We'll think about that. I think I am probably going for this one. I like it's got a little bit of dimension to it because it's slightly ruffled, not to a great extent, but just a little bit. So I'm thinking maybe this is the one I'm going to choose for the bottom. So let's just make that choice. Right. And again, I will be just tacking it down and sewing over it again. But of course, if you don't want to sew, then I would definitely be using probably fabric tack to get this down with. And I think I want the word garment to come up there, and the numbers. I kind of want that to be there. feel like it needs something more. That's where maybe this could come in. Maybe we can just go for the pink. I know. I said I wasn't going to, but hey. No, that's really not right either, because then it blends in, it kind of like blends too much in with that. All right. Oh, you know what we could do? We could take that same concept and come over here. Maybe just put in this cute little, oh, that's kind of hidden. No, not liking that. I'll save that in my snippet box. Okay. What if I got a button, but not this button, but another button? Alrighty. Well, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to sew around it, and I'll be right back. Alrighty, I just sewed around the rose. I think it's sufficient. I think it's okay that it is secured, and I think kind of having it ruffle up is fine. And I debated to do a zigzag, but I thought that was too busy, and I just went and did a straight stitch around the border of the printout, and then left the fringe uneven around it. And then I sewed across the lace. Now, in retrospect, it would have been better to have sewed on the first layer of the tag and then glued on the backing. But I don't think it's too bad, and it could even be interesting to journal on. And down here, I sewed without a thread to kind of mimic, you know, the tear off, but it doesn't really show on the front, you know, like I thought it might. Needs to probably be plain. There's little dashes here, and if it were no dashes, it would show it better. But that was just an experiment. So now this needs something down here, and I thought a charm would be nice. And I've got a whole bunch of these little charms. Don't even know where I got them. Probably inherited them from somebody. And I'm going to choose, I think I'm going to choose this one with a heart on it. I think that's really sweet. And we're going to attach this here to the, oh, it goes either way. Plain or very interesting. We'll put it on this way. I've got some hemp cord for in the jewelry department, I believe. I'm going to cut off a piece of this, and we'll see if this won't work for tying it on there. So let me just come up through the whole of the lace, somewhere's here in the middle, and attach it to the charm. Come up the other, another hole down here in the middle. There we go. Don't have to get out my needle and thread. Makes this a little bit quicker work. And I'll just give it a square knot. And I think this will look very cute. There we go. All right, and we'll just trim off just a tiny tad, like that. Okay. Kind of force it here. Oh, it's caught onto a piece of lace. There we go. That's why it's not doing that. Okay. I like it. I think it's just enough. Just enough. And then probably when I use it in a journal, I will put ribbons on here according to what else is going on in the journal. So that's the first one made with cloth, and then we're going to get, I'm going to get out another one and make one more. And this one, I had this idea, and I was watching Carol from Carol Law's YouTube station. Hi, Carol. And I was watching her, and she gave me this brilliant idea. Now, she was using paper, and she was doing this for her sewing journal, which is so cute. And she used paper, and she used strips of paper on the tag for a background. I thought, you know, I think using strips of cloth on the background would be really cool. I don't have a lot of sewing ephemera left anymore. I'm going to have to get new ones. But I did not want to print out more. And let's see, somewhere I put my cloth. Oh, here it is. I knew I put it someplace. So I was thinking I'm going to do what she did, only I'm going to use cloth. And I hand ripped, tore these little tiny strips. And this is not an easy feat. I really found that this is about the thinnest I could do most fabric, and that's, I think, about a 1/2 inch. And some fabrics, depending how tightly they're woven, you have to even do more than a 1/2 inch. But I think I got these about as skinny as I could get them. This one here was harder to get real skinny, but they don't have to match. That's not really the point. And again, I'll probably be sewing them, but I think I'm just going to secure them really quick in the middle. So we'll put one down here. Now I don't believe, let's see, I gotta consider if I want to go all the way down. Let's see, well, I guess I'm going to go all the way down in this instance. And let's put on this here. There we go. Let's put this straight down here. Real easy idea, especially if you've got, scraps of fabric. If you're a sewer, you've got scraps. And of course, this can be done with paper because that's the way Carol did it. It can be done that way as well. Now let's see, do I want to go, I want that hole to show, but I'll just leave it there for a second. Now let's put on, probably should have ironed these. Let's see here if I can kind of, sometimes if you drag it across something straight, you can kind of press it out a little bit. Probably should press it out like this here, so it's not quite so curly. Yeah, that's a little better. Not much though. And let's see, now do I want to come up all the way, or do I want to just come up this far? Yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and match the one there in the middle. I think that's the best way. And then I'm going to sew on these, and I believe that a zigzag stitch would be kind of fun to do this with. There we go. Just like that. And cut this one off here, and cut this one off there. There we are. Okay. Yeah, come up with the other one. There we go. Alright. So I'm going to go ahead and sew those, and I'll be right back. Alright, I put a zigzag stitch down the middle. I don't know if I like the ruffling though. I think what I'm going to do is just come back in here and just glue this down a little bit more flat. And I also think that by gluing it down flat, you can see a little bit more of the tag behind it. So these places that are kind of ruffled, I'm just going to tack them down a little bit with glitter glue. This one's laying down pretty good. And let me just come in here. Yeah, I think I kind of like that idea a little better. Alright, there, just so it lays A little flatter. Plus, when I go to put ephemera on top of it, it'll lay flat as well. Alrighty, that's better. And now I do have these paper dolls, and I'll try to find out where I got these from. Just can't remember. Long time ago. I do have other colors on digital, but I've only got these left from another project, and I want to use up my scraps, you know. I don't really want to print out something new. So I have these here as an option. Probably go with the blue. So a little bit of blue in these two places here. We do. That's the one we're doing. So I hope everyone is staying well. Yeah, I'm of the philosophy that it's always going to be something out there to catch. Just gotta be careful as what you think careful is. All right, let's put her down here. Oops, a little bit, leaning a little bit too much. There we go. All right. I think that's cute. And I think that works just fine. So I like this idea of using this fabric. And it's got like texture to it and dimension. I'm liking this. And I think too, I might put in, these words are from Mrs. Coggs. I might put in some kind of wording, or these come from the old design shop, and they're actually longer than this. They're twice as long. It's all plain, but they're twice as, I cut it down. I thought I could also put the charm here, but then it covers her face. So, yep, I think I'm just going to put this on here. Really like these words from Mrs. Coggs. I used them in this last sewing journal and used a lot of them. They were just kind of fun. Probably should have thought about where I was going to put it. There we go. There, just like that. So there you are. Quick and easy fabric on tags. Don't really know what she called them. But yeah, well, thanks a lot. I hope you enjoyed this. I know sometimes I like to watch people create because it gives me ideas while they're creating, and I didn't have this light in here, so sorry about that. So anyways, we will talk to you again soon. Thank you for viewing, and please subscribe, and I will start Emma. I will, I promise. We'll talk to you later. Bye.